Hey, what's up guys? So today I'm going to do a video on the things that I didn't like about my Cobra that I kind of fixed. So this is kind of like something to look out for when you're looking at one of these cars. Just some of my personal opinions on kind of things I didn't like, what I did to fix them, and probably things that I still don't like about the car but that I want to fix. But I love this car. I'll never get rid of it, so don't take this video in the wrong way of me just kind of hating on the car. Just wanted to talk a few things about it. I'll be doing a video on the things that I really like about the car next. So, all right, so first thing that I don't like about the car that I plan to fix actually is the brakes. From the factory, the brakes are they just don't do a very good job of stopping, and I've talked about this in some of my other videos on upgrading the brakes. But that's just one thing that I think that the Cobras really suffer from. It's just really bad braking. It's just not even close. Like that Fiesta over there has way better brakes than this car even does, and stops a lot better. I know there's a weight difference, but even the new 2015 Mustang brakes way better than this. So definitely want to upgrade those brakes. So that's the first thing I don't like is the brakes. Probably the second thing that I did not like is this is kind of a thing with the independent rear suspensions. From the factory, Ford puts rubber bushings in these cars and the new 2015 and up Mustangs. And the problem with doing rubber bushings is they give a lot. When they give, you get wheel hop, and when you wheel hop, you can break your half shafts, or like my car started, the front pinion seal and the diff started leaking, as well as the back of the cover. So, and you can also, some guys actually blown their rear cover out on these cars from the excessive wheel hop. So that's definitely a knock on it. The IRS is nice. It'll ride nicer than a solid axle. But like I said, you have to put money into the IRS to get it to where it'll handle better and where you won't wheel hop anymore. And that's when I went with the full tilt boogie racing IRS kit. So it's all their bushings. I've talked about this many times on the channel. I got some videos on it as well. So you got to put some money into the IRS to make it really well and not wheel hop. So it's kind of like, for me, it's definitely a necessity. If you have a Cobra, definitely look into getting bushings, because the wheel hop is just not fun. So that's probably the second thing I would say about the Cobras, is I didn't like the way the rubber is in the IRS. The third thing that I didn't like about the Cobra that I did fix was the clutch. Now, from the factory, the clutches on these cars are ridiculously heavy. It's a cable-driven clutch, so it's going to be heavier regardless. But for the amount of horsepower that my stock clutch could hold, and I actually switched to a McLeod RST, which is a twin disc, and now my pedal pressure is super light. So that was definitely a huge upgrade, which I'm really happy I did, because before the stock clutch was pretty much all of your might to push it in, so you really couldn't shift very fast. So yeah, definitely not my favorite. I thought I'd liked a stiffer clutch, but then when my clutch went bad, I went with the twin disc, and by far I like the twin disc way more than the stock clutch. So definitely something I didn't like. Some people like it. I think most people that like it haven't felt the twin disc and how nice it is. It's not, you still have that feel. It's still cable driven, so you still have that feel, but just getting rid of that unnecessary pedal pressure was a huge thing for me. So, all right, so now on to the fourth thing that I really don't like about the car is the interior. Now, the interior, as far as looks-wise, looks fine for me. I don't really care. I guess the main thing about the interior, everything else, like this, don't care about this. This is, it's plastic, but it's not, it doesn't make any creaky noises. But the only thing in the interior that's bad is the center console. And you can hear it back and forth. That's only when you have your arm rested on it. So if you don't have your arm rested on it, it's fine. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I may just get rid of the center console, because I never drink in the car, and I don't really have anything in the center console. So, but yeah, that's probably just the one thing that I would say about the car, is just the center console is kind of crappy. This center area is kind of crappy too. But everything else, the steering wheel's nice. It's got a nice thicker steering wheel than the standard Mustangs. Probably another thing that I would probably like to fix is right here, this is another just cheap piece on the interior, is this, I guess, window control area. That I'm not a huge fan of, so I don't know, maybe stick some double-sided foam on the inside here to kind of give it some space so it doesn't creak at all when you grab it, or wrap it in Alcantara. Just something to kind of isolate it so it doesn't make any creaky noises. But other than that, I like the style of the interior, so not that bad. Another thing that I don't like about the car is the seating position. So with these cars, they come with the factory seats have the electronic controls, so you can go up and down or whatever, but you just sit, it's hard to see on camera, but you do sit a little higher in the car, which isn't a bad thing, but after sitting in the Fiesta ST, you sit so much lower, and I like sitting a lot lower. And my buddy's got a Cobra R that's fully stripped out race car, and he's got a set of Recaros in there, and you sit a lot lower, and I just like sitting a lot lower in the car. So that's probably I think I've lost count. I think that's number 5 or whatever. But other than that, that's pretty much the only complaints I had about the car was the IRS, the squishiness in the IRS with the rubber bushings, which I fixed. The brakes, which I haven't fixed yet, but those are pretty awful. The interior's a little crappy, but that's to be expected from 2003. But most of the things are things that I can fix, that I will fix. But other than that, I've fixed everything that I've needed to fix so far. I just have to do the brakes next, get some racing seats. But yeah, so actually probably the last thing I've talked about before is there's something goofy with my rack and pinion, which I've talked about in previous videos. But those are kind of the things that I didn't like about the car. They're very, minute kind of things that you can fix, so you're not like stuck with it. Besides the interior, I mean, if you want to have an interior, you're kind of stuck with that. So that's probably the only thing that I would say you're kind of stuck with. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And subscribing helps me out. So I'll see you guys in the next video where I talk about the things I like about the Cobra.